For criteria number 5.2, we are looking at assessment decisions. So as we know, one of the key factors of an assessor is to make informed decisions, okay? And when making a decision about an assessment, whether it's an observation or whether it's perhaps marking an assignment or multiple choice test, there are a number of factors which can really sort of help us as an assessor when making these crucial decisions. The first one is to map your evidence, okay, that the learner produces against a set criteria or standards, okay. So standards are what the awarding body provides you as guidance in order to make a judgment. Okay, so if you follow their criteria, their standards, and you are objective, then that is very good practice when providing feedback to learners. Okay, so just make sure that you're objective, you're not subjective, and of course that when providing feedback, if you mention to the learner that you've mapped what you've seen against that criteria, then they are going to respect your decision. Furthermore, we have valid or validity. Okay, so when making an assessment decision, we have to make sure that our decisions are based on validity. Okay, so validity is the extent to which an assessment accurately measures what it is intended to measure. Okay, in other words, is the evidence relevant? Okay, so what you are observing, is it relevant to the standards and criteria? Okay, if it's not relevant, if it doesn't fully meet the criteria, then therefore it hasn't passed. Okay, and we have to provide feedback. Perhaps the learner has perhaps misinterpreted the standards. Okay, and we need to perhaps clear up how to very much sort of look at the assessment and look at perhaps the criteria in a little bit more detail there with the learner. The next key term is reliability. Okay, so in terms of the assessment decisions, okay, we have to think about whether or not the learner can perform their role, okay, independently when an assessor is not present. So we have to be comfortable that the learner can perhaps replicate those skills that they are demonstrating, that it's not simply a one-off attempt and they've passed. Okay, so we have to think whether or not they are going to be confident on their own. Furthermore, we have to be fair as an assessor. Okay, so when of course providing feedback to learners, we have to be objective. We've got to use the criteria, and we have to promote fairness. We have to give learners obviously time to respond to any questions in the same way as we've provided time to other learners as well. And once again, we can't let our own opinions or thoughts just infringe upon the assessment feedback process. What we'd like for you to do for this criteria is to explain why it is important that assessment decisions are mapped against a criteria, are valid, reliable, and also fair as well. Okay, you can of course include examples from either your current or your future assessing role.